There comes a moment in every journey when you taste success, and suddenly, something within you begins to crave more. Not because you truly need more, but because the feeling of winning is intoxicating. It gives you the illusion that you are finally in control, that nothing can shake you anymore. And it's in that very moment, quietly and unnoticed, that danger begins to grow, right within your own shadow. When Arjuna stood in the middle of the battlefield, overcome with doubt and fear, Krishna didn't just show him how to fight. He taught him something even harder: how to stop. He reminded him that true dharma doesn't demand endless victories. It asks for balanced action, to give your best with full dedication, but without being held hostage by the outcome. The verse was simple: be steady in success and failure. But behind those few words lived an entire lifetime of discipline. Krishna, who was a master of timing and strategy, had influenced the outcome of wars without ever lifting a weapon. He had changed destinies using only his words. Yet, he always knew when to walk away. He understood exactly when a victory was enough, and when continuing would mean stepping beyond the line of dharma. In the Mahabharata, once the war was won and the Kauravas were gone, Krishna didn't remain in the spotlight. He didn't build temples in his name or claim glory. He returned quietly to Dwarka, because the work was complete. Staying longer would have turned service into self-interest. So often we believe that stepping back is a sign of weakness. We think letting go is the same as giving up. But Krishna's example teaches us the opposite. Restraint is not a lack of power. It is power guided by understanding. It is the strength to leave the battlefield when your purpose is fulfilled, even if the world is still clapping. True victory isn't about how much you conquer. It's about how deeply you stay rooted in your dharma. There's a strange shift that often follows success. At first, there is gratitude. You feel centered. But slowly, a new voice enters. It tells you to keep going, to take more, to prove something even when there is nothing left to prove. And that is where most people fall. Not in failure, but in their moments of victory. They push one step too far. They speak one word too many. They forget why they began and begin chasing an image of themselves that was never real to begin with. The Gita reminds us, action performed without attachment brings freedom. But action mixed with pride creates new chains, even if they look golden. Krishna never asked Arjuna to destroy for power's sake. He asked him to restore balance. And once that balance was restored, there was no reason to raise the sword again. The same holds true in our own lives. You might win the argument but lose the trust. You might get the promotion but forget the peace you were seeking. You might reach the goal, but if you keep pushing just out of habit, you might lose the soul of what you were working for in the first place. That's when it becomes dangerous. Because going too far doesn't only harm others, it slowly unbalances you from within. It blinds you to your own limits. And it makes you forget where the line of dharma was drawn. Krishna, despite all his influence and power, never crossed that line. That's why his victories still echo through time, not because they were grand, but because they were right. He showed that knowing when to stop is not weakness. It is the highest form of spiritual intelligence. We are taught how to win, how to rise, how to build. But very few are taught how to exit with grace. Yet Krishna's life was full of graceful exits. He left Vrindavan without clinging to nostalgia. He left the battlefield without holding pride. And when the time came, he left the world itself, not with regret, but with peace. Because he never placed himself at the center of everything. He understood that his role was part of a much larger rhythm, and that rhythm flows best when we don't try to bend it to serve our personal desires. Sometimes, the wisest thing you can do is to step away, not because you've been defeated, but because you've already given what was needed. To continue beyond that is to risk imbalance. Trying to squeeze more out of a moment that has already served its purpose is a quiet disrespect to life itself. Krishna teaches that withdrawing is not failure. It is a return to stillness. It's the moment where action has done its work, and silence must take its place. So next time you find yourself reaching for more praise, more power, more approval, pause for a moment. Ask yourself gently, has this moment already fulfilled its role? Is there strength in letting it end? Because in that silence, you might hear something more lasting than applause. You might feel a kind of joy that doesn't need to be seen, a joy rooted in inner alignment. And that is why Krishna didn't just teach how to act, he also taught when to stop. End note. Let your victories be clean and complete. Don't carry them beyond their natural ending. The wisdom of restraint is not about reducing your strength. It's about protecting your purpose. In a world that constantly tells you to keep pushing, be the one who knows when enough is truly enough. And when that time comes, walk away, not with noise, but with peace.